thirst. His was quiet, almost gentle, but it carried a promise of pain that made the ground itself seem uneasy. Kion felt it before he heard it, a sharp spike of imbalance cutting through the circle of life, like venom through blood. The Pride Lands were calm on the surface, golden grass swaying under a peaceful sky. Yet beneath that calm, something twisted and coiled, fed by rage that had been growing for far too long. Ushari was no longer hiding his anger. He was letting it guide him. From the shadows near the Outlands, King Ushari watched with burning eyes. His body still and tense, his thoughts screaming louder than any roar. He remembered every defeat, every humiliation. Slatu, every moment the Lion Guard had stood together while he was cast aside. Time had not cooled his fury. It had sharpened it. Anger had become his crown, and he wore it proudly, believing it made him strong. They laughed. Ushari whispered to himself, voice trembling with venom. They always laugh, but I will be the last thing they fear. The first strike came without warning. Not an attack on the Lion Guard, not a challenge, but sabotage. Waterholes turned foul overnight, poisoned just enough to make animals sick, but not enough to kill. Panic spread quickly as herds backed away, unsure who to trust or where to drink. Ushari watched from the rocks, his anger satisfied by every cough, every frightened cry. He wasn't trying to win land. He was trying to hurt. Kion arrived at the poised waterhole with the Lion Guard close behind him. Ono circled low, eyes wide with alarm. The toxin is precise, he reported. Calculated. Besht's voice was heavy with concern. Ushari Fuli's tail lashed. He's escalating. Kion stared at the darkened water, his chest tightening. No, he said quietly. He's losing control. Ushari didn't stay hidden long. He wanted to be seen now. His voice echoed across the rocks as he slithered into view, eyes blazing with uncontained fury. Balance, he hissed mockingly. You protect balance while letting injustice thrive. Kion stepped forward. This won't fix what you're feeling. Ushari laughed, sharp and bitter. I don't want it fixed. I want it paid for. The clash was sudden and violent. Ushari struck with reckless speed, venom dripping from his fangs, his attacks wild and fueled by rage rather than strategy. The Lion Guard reacted instantly, blocking, redirecting, protecting one another with practiced precision. Ushari snarled in frustration as every strike failed to land cleanly. You hide behind each other. He spat. We stand together. Kion replied, calm despite the danger. That's the difference. Ushari retreated, not defeated, but burning hotter than before. His anger didn't fade, it multiplied. That night, he struck again, spreading fear through whispers and venomous lies. He convinced smaller creatures that the Lion Guard favored predators. That balance was a lie designed to protect the strong. His words, soaked in resentment, found ears already uneasy from poisoned water and sickness. Anger spread like fire. Arguments erupted where there had once been cooperation. Distrust crept into conversations. Ushari watched with satisfaction as the Pride Lands began to fracture emotionally, not physically. See, he murmured, they were never united. They were just pretending. Kion felt the strain immediately. The roar stirred uneasily within him, sensing discord everywhere at once. But this wasn't something power could silence. Ushari wasn't attacking bodies anymore. He was attacking hearts. The Lion Guard worked tirelessly to repair what they could, guiding animals to safe water, exposing Ushari's lies when possible. But anger moved faster than truth. Ushari struck again, this time directly at the guard, ambushing them in narrow terrain where teamwork was harder. His attacks were furious, unrelenting, driven by emotion rather than reason. Fight me! Ushari screamed at Kion, eyes wild. Feel what I feel. Kion blocked another strike, teeth clenched. Your anger is destroying you. Ushari laughed hysterically. Good. That was the moment Kion understood the real danger. Ushari didn't care if he won. He cared if everyone suffered. The breaking point came when Ushari poisoned a sacred grove, a place of healing and renewal. Animals gathered in shock, grief heavy in the air. This wasn't strategy. This was spite. Kion confronted Ushari at the grove, fury finally rising in his own chest. You've gone too far. Ushari coiled tightly, shaking with rage. There is no far anymore. The roar surged violently, responding to Kion's anger, begging to be unleashed. One roar could end Ushari, shatter his plans, silence his fury forever. The temptation burned like fire. Ushari sensed it and smiled. Yes, he hissed. Lose control. Bid. Like me, Kion froze. He saw it then with painful clarity. Ushari wasn't his enemy, Nga was. Kion stepped back. Ushari recoiled, stunned. What are you doing? I won't let your anger become mine, Kion said quietly. Ushari screamed in frustration and attacked again, but the lionguard closed ranks, shielding Kion without hesitation. They didn't strike back with fury. They restrained, redirected, endured. Ushari's movements grew sloppier, his breathing uneven, his rage consuming more energy than it gave. Hunger began to betray him. Every reckless strike left him open. Every furious lunge was countered calmly. The Lion Guard moved with clarity, not emotion, their unity unshaken by Ushari's attempts to provoke them. Why won't you break? Ushari screamed, exhaustion creeping into his voice. Kion met his gaze steadily. Because anger doesn't control us. Ushari struck one last time. Everything he had left poured into a single venomous attack. It missed by inches, whose body slammed against the rock, strength finally drained. He collapsed, trembling, eyes still burning but body failing. The plains were silent. No roar echoed. No victory cry followed. Ushari lay alone, surrounded not by enemies, but by the consequences of his own rage. The animals watched, not cheering, not jeering, simply witnessing the end of a path driven by anger alone. Kion stepped forward slowly. You could have chosen differently. Ushari laughed weakly, bitterness cracking his voice. Anger was all I had left. And it took everything from you, Kion replied. The Lion Guard escorted Ushari away, not in chains, but in quiet containment, his power gone, his influence shattered. The Pride Lands began healing almost immediately. Water was cleansed. Trust rebuilt slowly. Whispers softened into conversations again. As the sun dipped low, Kion stood watching the land recover, feeling the roar settle inside him, calm and balanced once more. He understood the lesson carved deeply into this battle. Anger doesn't make you strong. It makes you loud, makes you reckless. And in the end, it always turns inward, destroying the one who refuses to let it go. The Pride Lands would remember this war not for its violence, but for its warning. Because the greatest enemy they faced was never Ushari. It was the anger that owned him. Slat. The aftermath of Ushari's first defeat left a bitter taste across the Pride Lands. Even though the Lion Guard had contained him, the fear and unrest, his anger had spread, lingered like smoke after a wildfire. Akanga had not just attacked them, it had planted itself inside every corner of the circle of life, and that made the next move far more dangerous. Ushari did not hide. He observed from the outlands with a simmering patience, that made his previous attacks seem reckless. He had learned from failure. Anger was still his weapon, but now it was tempered with strategy. He studied the Pride Land's patterns, the Lion Guard's movements, and the slow rebuilding of trust among the animals. Everything Ushari saw made his rage sharper. "They think calm makes them strong," he hissed to himself. "I will prove it destroys them." The first strike of this new phase came subtly. Food sources were tainted, not just poisoned, but placed where animals had to compete for them. Water paths were rerouted into narrow canyons, forcing herds to jostle, fight, and hesitate. Anger was amplified through scarcity. Animals blamed each other. Frustration built, and Ushari watched with satisfaction. "Anger breeds itself," he whispered. "Once one animal lashes out, the rest follow." Kion noticed the change immediately. "He's trying to divide them again," he said grimly. "Not just attack us. Attack the circle itself." Fuli's eyes narrowed. "We fixed this once. We can fix it again." Vesh's jaw tightened. "But this is different." He's patient now. Ono circled above, wings beating rapidly. And he's learning. Every reaction we make feeds him. The tension reached its peak at the canyon crossing. Herds converged at a narrow path where water flowed, forced into close proximity by Ushari's manipulations. Frustration boiled into anger. A small argument erupted. Claws were bared, and Ushari's laughter carried on the wind like thunder. He had created the perfect storm without touching a single Lion Guard member. Kion's chest tightened as he assessed the chaos. The roar stirred violently, sensing the unrest. One blast could end the conflict instantly, scatter Ushari's influence, restore order in seconds. But Kion remembered the last lesson. Anger always backfires, too. Instead, Kion stepped forward calmly. This is not the circle of life. This is what he wants." Ushari's presence loomed over them, his eyes burning with fury as he surged forward, fangs bared. "Make them fall!" he shouted. "Break them!" Kion signaled to the guard, fully sprinted through the canyon, guiding the herds along safe paths, diffusing fights before they escalated. Vesh positioned himself to shield weaker animals, absorbing attacks from panicked predators. Bunga moved between conflicts, drawing attention to himself, fearless. I screamed, claws flashing, venom dripping. "I will show them that calm is weak." Kion met Ushari directly, eyes steady, attack. Our Sherry launched was redirected, countered, or absorbed without retaliation, fueled by emotion. Whispered disbelief replaced panic, throwing the guidance of the Lion Guard Usharis. Plan to spread anger and division was failing before it could fully take hold. "You cannot stop me with patience, Hua." "Weaker than you think," Kion replied. "Orangas, your chain, and you are trapped by it." Ushari lunged one last time, desperate, throwing every ounce of rage into a final, uncontrolled attack. The Lion Guard moved with perfect synchronization, fully cut off paths of escape. Vesh blocked the most dangerous strikes. Ono directed animals to safety. Bunga disrupted Ushari repeatedly, forcing him to expend energy and focus on distraction rather than devastation. Finally, Ushari stumbled, claws scraping rock, fangs bared, chest heaving. The Lion Guard closed in around him, not in attack, but in containment. His own anger had consumed him. Exhaustion, frustration, and the futility of his fury left him staggering. He hissed weakly, venom still dripping, eyes blazing. But no strength remained to continue. "You see?" Kion said quietly, stepping closer. "Anger cannot control. It only destroys." Ushari sank to the ground, trembling, his rage spent on attempts to dominate a world that had refused to bend. The Pride Lands held its breath, witnessing the downfall of a king consumed by his own fury. No cheer erupted. The animals simply watched, understanding that the real battle had never been against claws or teeth, but against the corrosive fire inside Ushari's heart. The lionguard escorted Ushari away from the canyon, not with violence, but with firm containment. The Hyena King's power was gone, his influence shattered, and his fury no longer threatened the circle of life. 2. The land itself seemed to exhale, recovering from the tense shadow that had lingered over every plain, every grove, every waterhole. As night fell, Kion stood atop Pride Rock, watching the last glow of the sun fade across the plains. The roar settled deep inside him, calm, balanced, a reminder of the true lesson of this war. Anger destroys its owner before it can destroy others. The Pride Lands had survived because unity, patience, and restraint had been stronger than rage. Ushari's legacy would not be fear. It would be the warning that no matter how powerful anger feels, it cannot last against those who refuse to feed it. The morning after Ushari's final collapse was eerily quiet. The Pride Land seemed to hold its breath, as if unsure whether the storm had truly passed. Kion could feel the tension that lingered in the air, the cautious steps of herds still wary of sudden bursts of violence. Ushari's presence, even defeated, had left a mark deeper than scars on the land. It had seeded doubt and fear. And so, the lionguard had survived. Kion knew the battle wasn't just about stopping a Hyena King. It was about healing the damage his anger had left behind. The first signs of Ushari's lingering influence appeared at the borderlands. Animals who had once trusted each other now hesitated to share food. Predators eyed prey warily, unsure if their instincts or fear of sudden retaliation should guide them. Rumors began to swirl. Small lies whispered from the outlands that Ushari's fury was returning, that his anger had spread like a shadow over the plains. Kion's chest tightened. He realized that Ushari had not only attacked physically, he had taught animals to doubt each other, and doubt was far more dangerous than venom or claws. "We can't let this linger," Kion said to his team as they moved along the northern plains. Anger destroyed him, but it's trying to destroy everyone else now. Foolie's tail flicked sharply. "We've stopped him once. We can stop this too." Besht's heavy voice rumbled in agreement. "It's not the same as before. We have to be careful. Patience alone won't fix everything." Ono's wings beat faster as he circled above, surveying the scattered herds. "We have to rebuild trust," he said, his tone urgent. "Animals are still afraid. Some are even blaming each other." Bunga grinned, teeth flashing. "We'll remind them what teamwork looks like. No anger, no fear, just all of us together." Kion nodded, though his thoughts remained heavy. He understood now that this final phase of Ushari's attack wasn't about physical destruction. It was about psychological warfare, using anger to fracture the circle from within. He had seen it firsthand how fury could twist the strongest instincts into chaos. A leader consumed by rage could corrupt everyone around them. The first challenge appeared at a large watering hole where several herds had gathered, hesitant to drink after weeks of disruption. Whispers of suspicion had grown into arguments, small scuffles breaking out as fear and frustration bubbled to the surface. Ushari had not even arrived, and yet his presence was felt in every snapping jaw, in every bristled fur, in every narrowed eye. Kion stepped into the center, calling out in a calm but commanding voice. "This is the circle of life. There is enough for everyone, if we act together." Theonomus froze, uncertainty visible in their stance. Ushari's tactics had made them doubt that balance could ever exist. "You've learned fear," Kion continued. "Now it's time to remember trust." At that moment, a shadow moved across the rocks. Ushari himself appearing at the far edge of the watering hole, its eyes burned with restrained fury, his tail lashing. "Patience is weak," he hissed. "Fear is real. Anger is the only thing that lasts." Kion squared his shoulders. "And you've seen where anger leads." The Hyena King lunged suddenly, venom dripping, teeth bared, fury consuming every movement. The lionguard reacted instantly. Fuli darted through the chaos, guiding prey and predators alike to safe positions. Besht blocked Ushari's path, absorbing blow after blow. Ono called precise directions from above, redirecting animals away from conflict. Bunga moved between combatants, drawing attacks while protecting the vulnerable. Ushari's attacks were wild, fueled entirely by emotion rather than strategy. Each strike left openings the guard exploited, each roar of rage betrayed exhaustion, each lunge revealed his weakening control. He hissed, frustrated, lunging again. "You think calm protects them?" He screamed. "It does," Kion said firmly. "Because it protects more than just strength. It protects the circle itself." Slowly, gradually, Ushari's rage began to fail him. Every wild attack was countered, every manipulative strategy foiled. The animals, watching closely, began to regain confidence. They stopped reacting to fear and began acting with thought, following the lion guard's example. The circle of life, threatened by anger, was beginning to hold once more. Finally, Ushari stumbled, claws scraping rocks, chest heaving, venom dripping. He had poured every ounce of fury into a last, desperate assault and found himself alone, exhausted, defeated by the very principle he had ignored. Unity through calm, not fear. Kion stepped forward. "Anger destroys its owner first," he said quietly, eyes steady. "Look around you. This is what happens when you let it control you." Ushari hissed weakly, retreating into the shadows, his influence broken, his fury drained. The animals exhaled collectively, no longer paralyzed by fear, and began repairing the damage. Sharing water, helping the injured, restoring trust that anger had fractured. Kion watched from Pride Rock as the plains healed slowly, the roar resting deep inside him, quiet and balanced. He understood the lesson Ushari had unwillingly taught. Anger can be a weapon, but it is also a cage. Those who wield it risk being consumed entirely, and its destruction of the owner is always the first victory it claims. The Pride Lands had survived not through might, but through restraint, patience, and shared strength. Ushari's shadow remained at the edge as a reminder, but no longer a threat. Anger had destroyed its owner, and in its wake, the circle of life had endured. The animals were free to thrive once more, and Kion knew that this battle, like all battles of spirit, would be remembered far longer than any fight of teeth or claws. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the plains in gold and crimson. Kion stood beside the lion guard, eyes on the horizon, heart steady. Anger had tried to rule the Pride Lands, and it had failed.